I had met Kathy Kidd, who was an event coordinator for a martial arts trade show in Pasadena. She had come into the Gracie Academy and she had asked Horion if he was interested in maybe getting a booth at this martial arts trade show. So Horion at the time was, was still selling his videos in a little article and a little ad in Black Belt magazine, and he wasn't interested in going to the show. But I met her there at the academy, and she invited me to come out that Saturday, and she gave me a pass. By the time that I got there and came in the front door, the police were there, and there had been some sort of a brawl. And I'm trying to find out what's going on. And who comes up to me is Zane Frazier. He said, "Mr. Davie," he said, I was hoping you were going to come here. I wanted to meet you. I just kicked Frank Dukes' ass. I heard different versions of it. I don't know whether Zane hit him or pushed him or threw him over a table. But when I got there, the cops were interviewing everybody. They even asked me a question. They said, "Why are you here?"
And Hannibal asked Art, he said he wasn't there when this altercation took place. So he didn't really know what actually happened. He was only going off of what Zane Frazier said. And I'd like to give Frank Dukes an opportunity to talk about what transpired there. Was at a convention.
Around that time, I was being I was contacted by someone out of Art Davie's office. I guess a year before the debut of the fight. They were talking about doing they wanted me to fight an exhibition fight because I'd just done one in Barstow, California with Bloodsport 2 producer, where I took on all comers. And the idea was, that I would fight in this thing, and they were going to call it the Ultimate Fight Challenge because my name was the Ultimate Fighter. That was my handle way back when. And Bloodsport was also advertised based on that as the Ultimate Fight Contest, the Ultimate Fight Champion. And that's where really the title came from. I turned it down because I said, well, where are you going to host it? What are the guarantees money-wise? And it just wasn't a good fit for me. Nothing more than that. But then I had this other opportunity coming along, and here's Zane Frazier for a year hounding me, trying to get me into fighting this Ultimate Fight Championship, the very first one, before it even launched, to the point that I had to take a restraining order on the guy. There was an actual restraining order on him to stay away from me. And my attorney advised me never, ever throw a punch on this guy. He's already sued you in court because he claims, your secretary hit him in the eye with a closed door. And I ended up in a what do you call it, workman's comp case, because he said, his eye got hurt from the door slammed, and it was a ridiculous Greek case. So there's bad blood between us from that day on. And, he was a natural guy to kind of get on my thumb and try to force me to get into this event. When we're at the event, here comes Zane with an entourage of guys, and he's doing this Mau thing, and it's like out of wrestling. "Oh, you said I hired a killer to kill me and my wife." And I'm like, well, if I said I hired a killer to kill you and your wife, what are you doing here? And why are you, why aren't the police here? It's that simple. And it was really obvious it was a publicity stunt. It was really just to get attention, and he had already been asked to be in the fight. He actually admitted it on a Bob Carson's show at one time. That's one of the reasons Bob and me met. He was on the show there previous to me. He even said he was asked a year before to go on to this fight and how they approached him. So, cutting to the chase, the guy, I embarrassed him. I said, "You know what? You really want to fight me, Zane? There's a ring right there. We can step into it right now. Forget all this." Well, that was counterproductive to what the reason he was there for. And that was to get publicity for this event. So he got all heated up. People were laughing at him. He came back like 30 minutes later with brass knuckles. And while I was bent over signing an autograph for a kid at just setting up the booth, he hit me from behind. And it shows in my medical conditions. I had I have 4 square indentations in my skull from being hit with brass knuckles. But in all fairness to Zane, and show you where I try to keep my integrity, the fight didn't end with Zane. It ended with another 3-4 guys jumping in on me, and any one of them could have possibly hit me. That's why he never got charged. Okay, I want to make that clear. They couldn't identify who is the actual person who hit me with the knuckles, so therefore he got a pass on that. He was arrested. I was never arrested, although when you look at the way people portray it in the press, we got in a fight over a business deal. No, we didn't. I was hit without warning. The CCTV cameras captured it. The CCTV cameras captured me fighting off 4 top fighters of the UFC. I won't mention their names because it's obviously a publicity stunt went bad. I'm not going to hurt somebody reputation who may have made a mistake in their life. You know, that's just my character. I know what it's like to be a fighter. I know what it's like, the games you have to play to kind of get attention and get in that and have a career. So, you know, I always have a fighter's heart. I always think of the fighters. I'll protect them as long as I can. They know they made a mistake. And that's it. And I held my own against them. I ended up with a tremendous judgment. And if not for that judgment, financial judgment in my favor because of what had happened. I mean, it was over quick because you had the camera footage, you had everybody there who saw what happened. It was not an altercation. It was not a fight. I never threw one punch on Zane.